Welcome back, everyone. And this is the last session of the HTML and CSS course. Okay, so we are now in the project folder, as you can see or remember. And let's just open this file and see what we have. Yeah, as you can see, we have something like this. We've been working on this. And so what is left in here actually is polishing and adding some features. Maybe if I want, let me just show you what I did here. Some static website. Yeah, I made this static website. I just used the same code, guys, the same code, this code. And then I tried to just make it look somehow better. As you can see now, just looks like somehow polished. And then just add something about me. And then I make the form also looks like somehow this. And then projects, just in the projects also, I just put some information. This could be project, or it could be blogs, or it could be anything. But so, and if you remember our podcast to learn how to embed audios, and the video, and also the video section, as you can see. And then we learn also how to make a table. And as you can see, I made use of this information, the 30 days of challenge. And then there's a link, there are GitHub stars and the number of days. Now, this is a kind of complete, but still it needs polishing and developing. So what we can learn actually, it's never ending process when it comes to styling. So I think this is much better than what we have here right now, right? So because this one is somehow everything is aligned, and as you can see, it has enough spacing, the power of spacing. So whenever you have enough space, it looks good. So remember to use appropriate amount of margin and padding. Yeah. So today we will learn, actually, I think I have this test. I don't know, what did we put there, but maybe I can just take a note here. Note dot, what is this? Enmity is just a markdown. What are we going to learn? CSS units. By the way, do you know units? Measurement of length, right? So it could be centimeter, it could be inch, it could be pixel, or it could be percentage. It could be rem or em, or view
height.
View height and view weights. So it could be this kind of measurement. I think it seems too small for you to, okay, let me just make it a bit bigger. I think this could be good. And because I make this some change, autosave is not even on. So after a delay, please save for me. Yeah, then I think it's also a good idea to learn responsiveness and how we make it. And we can use a media query, that's the only way. And then we learn also Flexbox, and it would be nice if we have a different order, because Flexbox helps us quite a lot to make it more responsive. So we don't have to use many media query if you use Flexbox. I think I have to check from Telegram what I put there, because CSS and yeah, if and maybe actually how to use also background image, CSS background image, and maybe we can also see box shadow. Yeah, great. Yeah, so now let's see what we have. We don't need this. We focus on this part. It would have been better if we have, but I think this is hard to deal with. Let's work on this file because it doesn't have many things, okay? So I can remove this, and we don't need this also. Let's do some, yeah, first now we will see a pixel and percentage. Let's see the difference between pixel and percentage. Okay, let's create a div here. And to see a div, let's have to style div. I have to background color, maybe red. Sometimes I tend to use red as a border in the background because I can see it right away. And then, yeah, because the background of, we don't need any style here. For some reason, I don't see it. Maybe let's put something here, some text, yeah. Yeah, it's there actually, okay, but without even text, I have to see it. Really? Maybe it's too small. I was expecting to see something. Maybe I think it's better to give it border, because border usually has something like, for instance, the 2 pixel by itself is like a kind of a length, 2 pixel solid red. By now, we should see some kind of, yeah, but let's give it just a height. For instance, I want to give it 400 pixel. It looks like the height means this, yeah? Height. So, and maybe I can give also the width instead 800 pixel. I think it might be better if I just put it the other way. Now you have a box with a width of 800 and a height of 400, and with this border. Have you seen this? So we use actually just the pixel. So whenever we are using pixel, actually that is absolute value. So I will use the W3 School help CSS units. And if I go there, I may get some information. So I just ignore that part, but there is a very good cheat sheet or some table about each value. If you see here percent relative to the parent element, but why they didn't, pixel are relative to the view device, furlough device pixel. 1 pixel is 1 device pixel. That is what it means, but the name pixel itself. For printers and high resolution screen, 1 pixel implies multiple device pixel. This is not very clear, but I may so I would say whenever use a pixel, that is this just the absolute amount of the value. So it's just 1 dot point. So pixel is just, this is like a 1 dot point. So this kind of representation. So for instance, this could be 4 pixels. So a small dot on a digital device. So that's a pixel. And whenever we say pixel, that is the absolute amount. So as you can see now, we have 800 pixel and 400 pixel. How about if we have another div times maybe 3? I have now 3 divs. Of course, since this one is, I can change it to container, and I have to change this one to container. And maybe it's good to give them, these guys, also a class, and I call them box. Then a box, and then a box. Yeah, we don't see the boxes because we have to call them this box, maybe width 200 pixel, and the height also 200 pixel. And they will be arranged one after another. Do you know why? Why don't you see them here, guys?
And put the border.
Yeah, we should give them some kind of border or background. Maybe I can give them gray, some gray, and we may see something here. So it was too big because why you see it? Have you seen it's outside? Why it's outside? Because whenever we use pixel, I told you that it's an absolute amount. So the height, this is actually 400, right? Let's see, I forgot. Yeah, 400. But here, so since we have 200 plus 200 plus 200, so it's going to be this. Maybe I think if I add border, you know where. Border, 2 pixel, solid. By the way, if you don't add color, the color by default will be black. So have you seen this is 200, 200, 200. So 600, so it's outside, it overflow. It didn't remain inside the container. Yeah? Yeah. So we have to calculate. So to put it here, at least this should be 150, 150. And it's not going to fit because it will be 450. But what we have is 400. So let's limit our, let's just keep it 100 uni. Now, as you can see, it get fitted to this area. That's why sometimes we don't, but instead, how about if we give them 33%. Have you seen this? Have you noticed something, guys?
It's not staying inside the box.
Yeah, and why I used 33.33?
Because of the borders?
Because I have 100 divided by 3. 100 divided by 3 is about 3.333. Then that means this area that will be divided by 3. So they share this area equally. Yeah.
Mm.
But the reason why you see this extra is because of the border. Let me remove the border. If I remove this border, most probably it will be inside there. Have you seen it? So we learned that the last time, did I tell you that the universal selector, and if you use box sizing, border, box. If you apply that, it doesn't matter if you are adding padding or border, it will remain fitted. Have you seen now? Yes. Even so, the border will be part of the height and the width. If you use border, box. So remember, this is really very powerful. Yeah. All the time, just put it in your code at the top. All the time. Why you care and why you need to think even. Just put this. Now, Yes. Have you seen now the power of percentage? And the power of percentage is actually when it's responsive, when this getting smaller because of a small device, this also proportionate itself. Yeah. Any question before I move on?
No.
So maybe let's just change this to the other. How about if we change the orientation, because this is display block, because it's box is a div by nature. So let's change the orientation by display inline block. Yes, inline block. Now, as you can see, we have, okay. So I have the box, the width is now Y. So now I have to change this to, tell me, I want these guys to cover the whole area. So tell me, I have to change this to 33 point percent. Yeah, but wait, there is a little bit.
Yeah, you have the space between the div creates.
The where?
Between the div, you have a space. It's maybe 1 or maybe 3 pixel, and it creates that you can use 33%.
Where exactly?
On the other, like the display view.
Display inline block, yeah.
No, not the. Sorry, my English is terrible. When you go back to the, how can I say, like when we can see the internet page, what we create between the div, you have this space.
This spaces.
Yeah, it's like 4 pixels.
These spaces might come from the browser. Do you know how we remove that?
I use comments between two div.
Comments?
Yeah, I put the comments between the div, and it reduces the space.
How? Well, for instance, tell me how.
If you go to the div, like the div down, if you go down between the div class box, I comment the end of the div.
Oh, comment here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but between two div, I comment. It start from the end of the div and finish to the beginning of the other div.
So comment something like this?
Yeah, no, don't need to put something inside.
Yeah.
I just put like at the end of the first div, the beginning of the comments, and at the beginning of the second div, I put the end of the comment.
Is that?
I don't know if this is work, but it's more like.
Yeah. By the way, I'm just want to see what you told, but I want to see what's happening. But the comment is just a comment to leave some remark. Okay. We don't really solve things using the comment, but I may just show you here. Most probably this is coming from the browser. The browser give us some default margin and padding. So again, margin 0. Let's remove the margin. Actually, we didn't manage to remove that margin for some reason. Okay, then I may still think, okay, let me comment this out for the time being. Okay, still it's not. So I have a box and
I find on the internet for 1 hour try to find the solution of this, and it say that the only solution you have is like to put from the same line on the first div, the beginning of the comments, and on the same line of the second div, the end of the comments.
You mean here?
Same line of the first div at the end.
The same line.
Same line of the first div.
This?
Like the div class box.
Div class
you have box? After the closing tag.
After here.
After the closing tag.
Okay, here, yeah.
Here, open the comments.
Yeah. No. No. Yes.
and we finish the comments just before the second div, donc div clack box, just before.
Yeah, it's closed
At
already.
the same line. Yeah, but I don't know if this is me. I put it in the beginning of. I don't know. It's like there's no space between the div. I don't know. I don't know how to explain.
Because no, I think this not. We don't use the comment for alignment. Comment. The purpose of a comment is just to leave some remark for reading purpose, and we don't solve that with a comment. I don't. I disagree somehow with that solution. Maybe what we can do. Let's say, and now we have a container. So what we have with this is 800 pixel. And what is, let's just make it a bit 32, just to see what's happening. As you can see, there is some extra space. This maybe even this could be a padding because of the browser. Padding is equal to 0. And let me just get back again. I can remove this one, and instead of also 32, just let's make it 33 whatsoever. Not fitted yet. Box sizing border box. I was expecting this to fit. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Okay, so how about if we just put a margin 0 here? And even, yeah, margin 0. Important. I hope other CSS not coming from anywhere else. Yes, let's see. There is some hidden space, so sometimes maybe it's also possible to just reduce this one for a bit. If you reduce, for instance, 30, about 33, even might fix it. Okay, that's still plenty, and let's just go for 30. Yeah, and if you just put the margin auto, it will be a line center, but the plan was actually, I think I see some text. Yeah, I didn't see that. Div class, yes, yeah. So by putting this, you think that it's possible to solve that problem. Yeah, I think it's the same I did.
Yeah, I'm looking for internet for I think 2 hours to find out.
Yeah, this is what you say, and yeah. This shouldn't be a solution. And if I just show you again, that will not be solution. Yeah, it will not be. Sometimes some things might work, but because of something else. But this is not a solution. Anyway, as you can see now, let's just reduce this somehow 32. It fits, but for some reason, where is it coming? Maybe let's remove all the padding of this. Padding 0 and margin also. Margin is nothing to do, but at least. And of course, now I can do 33. Yeah, still it doesn't, because there is some more spacing. But I think I hope you got the idea. So whenever we calculate a percentage, this value, for instance, now we have 800 pixel, right? So these guys divide the 800 equally. This, yeah, the way we did. For instance, if we did this 100%, it should fit, not 100% actually. Yeah, actually we changed to 100% this one. So if we change, what do you expect? The height will be up to, yeah, but the reason is the height, the width is a bit somehow 31, for instance, because, yeah, have you seen? Now the height is, because the reason is 100%. If you put it 100% means what's the height of this? The same as the parent. Yeah. So I think another way of, let me just show you. Yeah, so this is 400, 400, 400. And this somehow divided the widths equally. So whenever we need to divide the container into some proportion, we can use percentage. Yeah. For instance, if this was like in percentage itself, for instance, we can make it 100%. As you can see, it's 100%. But let's just keep the height for 100 as it is. But maybe now it may work. Let me try. I don't know why it didn't work there. Yeah, it didn't work still. But anyway, now I have to keep it 100%. So as you can see, now the 100% is proportionated to 3 divs. So the problem of using percentage, you have to calculate every time. You have to calculate. The calculation is somehow tiresome. So if you have a container, if you want to put 3, you have to divide it into 3. But if I put it just 4, for instance, so this should be divided into 4. So it should be about 25%. 25%, as you can see, but the 25% is too much because of some unknown reason. I don't know what I was thinking. It could work, but I didn't get it the way. Yeah, the reason why, as you can see, it is now in line. What? Yeah. Yeah, it's small because I made by mistake. Tierney, for instance, Tierney 2, something about 22, it will fix that problem. So we managed to divide these properly. But I was expecting 2 feet to cover the whole area. So something, some margin. Yeah.
So, sorry, if you make it display flex, will it also be a gap between them then? Or is it only if you have the inline block?
We will
I think this is only related to inline block, this problem, right? At least that's what also I found online.
What did you say?
I also read online, just as Baptiste was saying, that I think this is an issue when you do display inline block. But I'm not sure if it's an issue when you do display flex instead. You might not have the same problem.
Oh, okay, we will come to that soon. Yes, so the thing is, whenever we are using the height, for instance, if you remember, let's just forget about this. And if we focus on the height, in the height, it fits actually, which if you remember. Of course, I'm using 100%. This should be, yeah, it shouldn't be, actually the widths should be whatever. This should be 25%. Yeah, have you seen? We didn't have any problem in the vertical. It fits. We managed to, for instance, if we have 5 boxes, we divide 100 in 5. So what's going to be the result? It's 20, right? Yeah. So again, we will have 5 and it fits. But for some reason, when we change, as you said, the display flex, not flex, yeah, inline block, there we had this gap. There is some gap. Okay, so I can search how to remove the margin in display inline block, because there's a kind of a default fighting the space between inline block elements. Have you seen this? How do I remove the space between? Yeah. Someone already asked. So remember, guys, whenever you get such kind of a problem, you should search white space collapsed, discard. Really? And I have never used that font size. I usually go for the highest. So since the answer has become really? Even we don't have, yeah, it makes sense now, guys. Okay.
It said it treats it as a character, and
yeah.
It will leave a space between, just as when you type words, it will leave a space between them. And that's why it causes that.
Mm-hmm. So now, as you can see, we have five boxes. So since we have 5 boxes, we divide the width to, like, let's make it to 20%. Have you seen? It fitted. I agree with this solution, Baptiste. So this is very good one. Yeah, we managed to solve that problem. So percentage is actually a calculation. So now we have 5 divs and they are aligned properly. So for instance, that the assignment I gave you, you have here somewhere a logo and some information, hello something and mentor something. So your navigation could go there. Yeah. So yeah, I think whenever you put display, there is a space which can be created, and that we solve that with this. And then whenever you want to give a font, you just give the font size inside the children. Yeah, I love this solution. Yes, great. Are you happy with that? But do you understand the use of percentage?
Yes.
Yes.
So how can I extend this to down? Tell me. How can I make this height full?
Height 100%.
Yes, change this to 100%. Right, so now you know what it means. Okay, now we are done with a pixel and percentage. Whenever we talk about pixel, it's an absolute value, value, yeah, the real value. But percentage is actually relative to the parent. So tell me what is how many pixel is it? Tell me the width of this pixel. box in pixel. Of course, you know that maybe I think it's not easy to know because the container didn't have a fixed, for instance, if we have 800 pixel. Now the width is 800 pixel, this. So what is the width of the children? What is it?
160.
Yes, I think something like that. So you actually, you divide, or the 20% of this. Yeah, it's easy. 16 you remove, so 160. Thank you. So what's the height of each box now? The same as the parent, 400. Is it clear now?
Yep, 400.
Yes, great. Now let's talk about, so what is good now to talk about is actually this viewport. So the width viewport means, if you say one, means if I see, let me show you. Let's get this back to 100%. 100%. What does that 100% means, guys? Tell me. 100% means the whole viewport, everything, just the device size, yeah? So 100% is the same as width viewport. Let's see. Have you seen it's the same? Okay, then why we need to use percent or viewport? Okay, so now, but this means actually viewport, actually viewport, view width, view width. But it didn't change for some reason. Okay, but this one is not relative to the parent. It's not relative to the parent. Okay, so let me show you. For instance, Motomi said that actually 20% means, she says that 160 pixel. Yeah, let's change it and see it if it remains the same. It didn't remain the same because we changed this to, first we have to keep that to in percentage. So why? Gateway change.
Maybe it's because it's in pixel, 160 pixel. This is what you want to write?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't, this should be still 800 pixels, sorry guys. Yeah, thank you. 800, was it 100 to 800 pixel, right? 800 pixel, the 20% should be, okay, yeah. So we divide these to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 80 divided by 800 divided by 5, I was expecting this pixel. Oh, but still, it's not fit. Why? Let's see. Okay. There is something left again. That's not very good. That's the problem of using, maybe I can just remove 155 somehow, closer values. Yeah, now still there is some hidden margin. There is some hidden margin. but our calculation is actually right, but there is some hidden margin which is behaving differently, and that's why sometimes it's so difficult to get the right layout using this display and percentage. But you got the idea. So for instance, if I get closer up to 58, it may work. Have you seen? Even maybe at 59, it may go down. Yeah, have you seen it? But at 160 with the right size, it's going down. Why? Maybe, does it have a pad? Okay, let me pad margin. There's a hidden margin, 0. No, there is no. Anyway, you got the idea. So let's just, for demonstration, I can just put it 59. And yeah, it's almost closer there. Okay, so, but if how about if I change this to 100 again back %, and let's change this to also 20%. Yeah, again back. How do we use this width viewport width? Yeah, 100%. It's not 100%, but this means 100%. So let me show you how we. So 100% is equal to this. Okay. 90% is equal to 90. 1% is equal to 1.
1 view width.
Yeah. So what's the difference between this and this? This doesn't depend on anything, but whenever we use percentage, the percentage usually depend on the parent element. Yeah. So that is the difference. So if it is, this one is 100, so this is going to be, tell me. I think according to my calculation, it's going to be 20.
20.
Yes, but still it goes a bit down, and it's like that, as I told. Maybe if we just give it about 19, it may just fit again, but it's somehow, as I told you, some hidden margin somewhere is pushing it. Yeah, so that is, now what we should learn is just how to use and the difference between those CSS units. And this actually, the other unit is the view height. View height is the same as view width, and you give this to a height instead of a width. It's the same. So for instance, you can give 100% for this one. So we can give this 100%, but if I give it this to 100 view height, what do you expect? I think it may take the whole page because it's 100%. There's no relative. Yeah, so you don't do that. Instead, actually 100% means 400 pixel here, and we don't know 400 pixel in view height unless you calculate it. Yes, so there's such kind of a thing. So what you should also check is what is this viewport, I mean, the width of the viewport relative to 1% of the width and relative to 1% of the height of the viewport. And then what we see actually EM and REM. Yeah, I think it's good to maybe get back to, Let me get back to the percentage. And let's reduce also the number of divs because we have lots of divs here. We can have 2 divs. And if you have 2 divs, I think to make them fit, this is going to be 50%. Yeah, okay, great. How about if we put something inside? First div and second div. I don't see a text, I don't know why. I thought I write it inside. Or is there any delay? Guys, help me out. Where's my text? Oh, yeah, it's the background is actually gray and it's hard to see. Maybe we can just make it a bit lighter or remove that kind of, maybe we don't need any background. So, and we don't suffer. I have no idea. So, box.
Is it because of the font size 0?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Font size. Yeah. Because, yeah, we gave it. So let's give it 60 pixel. You're right. Yes, that was. Now we have this. And what does this run means? First, let's see run. And it's good to understand rem here, the definition, relative to font size of the root element. Do you remember the root element of HTML?
No.
We have been talking about many times. What's the root element of the whole HTML document? I will show you. What do you see here? The root element. Which one is the root element? This is also very important when we learn JavaScript. Everything is wrapped in HTML, and so HTML is the root element or the parent of all elements, right? Yeah, do you remember now?
Yeah.
I think so. So that means actually we can also select the HTML itself. For instance, if you say color red, everything will be red. Of course, we don't have anything. Have you seen? I just read everything changed because I chose this HTML. Okay, but the purpose is now it's related to font size. You give a font size. What font size do you like to give? For instance, if you give 20 pixel, now relative to this, so I'm going to give this one rem. Do you know what it means? This one rem?
It goes to 60 pixel.
No, but relative to this one we say now, because can you be louder a bit?
So it means 100% of the font size of HTML.
Yes, so it means how much now it is?
20.
Yes,
pixel.
great, 20. Yes, 20. Let's see if it's really working. Let's just change this one, like for instance, 80 pixel, and let's see if it's changing. Have you seen? It's changing, right? There. And how do you know? So far we didn't open this maybe. Let's see here. I'm opening, by the way, Control-Shift-I. Control-Shift-I. It opens this for you. And then I just click this one and maybe click this and then hover this, you click this. Okay, then click this. Maybe when you go compute it, so the font size, let me see, have you seen the font size? 80 pixel. Yeah, it's 80 pixel. It's 1 rem, but actually it's 80 pixel. Right. So it's relative to, the importance is, for instance, you can scale it. For instance, instead, maybe I want this 80 is too much, right? So let's make our initial, for instance, 10 pixel, yeah? If I make it 10 pixel, to make it 16 pixel, how much do I do this? 1.6 rem. So it's so easy now to, yeah, have you seen this actually is like the default. And if you see also go down here, maybe you will see 16 pixel. And then maybe you can also, maybe if you put this 2.5, what does that, this mean? 2.5 times by, yes, 25 pixel. All right. How is it run, guys? So once you declare it, so for instance, let me show you how you can make use of this. Let's see section and H1. Okay, section title and this H2, section subtitle. Maybe I have you seen I have section title and section subtitle, but why they have the same size? It seems they have all the same size. Do you know why they have the same size? Do you understand why?
Because it is wrapped by HTML, the basic size of,
yes.
basic size of the font is.
Yes, so it's
10?
Yes, so let's check if it is like you hover it and you hover and actually you click here and then come and check how much the font size is actually. But why? It's 15. I can see that 15. So how much did we have? 10, right? So 10. Actually, we didn't apply any of that, so we can just apply and change. But by default, we found it 15. It's somehow strange for me. Okay, let's override it. So for instance, I want my font size of H1 to be 2.5 rem. And H2 will be, so H2 is going to be font size. I want to be 2 rem. Now you will see some kind of, have you seen? There is some hierarchy. And if we check now, I should get for this one 25 and 20. Let's see.
Can I ask you, how did you open that extension you have there?
Yes, yeah, now I'm not opening, right? The right click and then inspect.
Okay.
And then there's elements here. You click it. And then actually you click this. And then first you click this one and go and click the element you want, for instance, and then click. So the CSS you see is from this one. If I want for this one, I click, and then as you can see, it's H1 and the font size 2.5 rem. But 2.5 run, you don't know what it's computed means, the calculated font. If you see 25 pixel, yeah. Yes, so everything we write on the HTML, because do you know that the browser renders it and it's here. Our code is actually hidden here. So it's here. This is the HTML part, and this is the CSS part. For instance, if I remove this, have you seen? Even you can remove this. And even you can add and experiment here, background, and some color red. Have you seen? And now, even you can put and do the same as the way you did on the VS Code, yeah? But this doesn't last forever. So let's get this also on. Yeah, if you refresh, it will vanish. Great, so we covered run. Do you understand run now, guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, so now let's go to EM, relative to the font size of the element. What element? Relative to the font size of the element. Okay, let me show you something. Okay, I want to create a div, and I can call this div class test. I can just call it test, and I call Mr. Test like this. Width, I can call it 500, maybe 300 pixel, and width 300 pixel, and border 2 pixel orange, solid orange.
Yeah, with twice there.
Yes, I love repetition, you know. Hi, thank you. Okay, great. So now we created something here, but let's add some text also inside. Maybe just some text. Maybe I think it's better to put it inside a P, you know, learn. It's some. I think I don't have this, the wrapper somewhere. I didn't word wrapping. It's removed. Word wrap. Its own place. And yeah, so I have this. Let's see. For instance, based on the definition relative to the font size of the element. Okay, let's give a font size for this P, yeah? P, font size. I can go, what is the rem? I can go the rem, or a pixel, not to confuse you too much. Let's go for a pixel, 20 pixel. Yeah, so how about if we say padding 1 EM? I will show you now what it looks like. Have you seen the padding? What does this means actually? Based on this definition, EM relative to the font size of the element. 2 EM means 2 times the size of the current font. So that means if the font size is 20 pixel, and if you see some other, for instance, the padding, what does that mean now? The padding 1 EM, what is the size of the padding here? 20 pixel. How about if I put 1.5?
30 pixels.
That means 1.5 times 20. I think it's going to be 30 pixel. Yeah. So that means run the same element. So you make use of just to assign some padding margin value from the font. Yeah, so that is it. What do you think? Did you get the point?
Yes.
Yeah, and so relative to the font size of the element, what element itself, but this relative to the font size of the root element. So you can, even now, for instance, it's 20, right? Instead of writing this 20 again, I can call it 1 run. So it remained the same. Really? It's changed actually. Why? I have no idea. Because it was 20, right? So I have to make it 2 rem. Yes. Yeah. We got the same. Great. Now what we have covered is the most important one: pixel, percentage, view, width and view height, and run and en. These are very important units whenever it comes to guys, don't be overwhelmed by this. Just stick into pixel, but whenever you read or we follow some tutorial or blog, whenever you see such kind of units, you will not be surprised, but most of the time you use this one. And sometimes whenever to make it more kind of scalable, and just you use run. I use run and pixel most of the time, rarely percentages for some. Yeah, there are reasons you may need to use those kind. And I think let's finish this there. And now I want to also show you this box shadow. It's so important. So I want to show you box shadow. And before that, I think it's better to have a 10 minutes break, and then after that, we will cover the rest. Guys, just take a break, and let's see after 10 minutes, and then see you at 7.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody. So what we've covered before the break. So this centimeter inch is not something we use for CSS, but I think it used to be, but now we use pixel whenever we want to have absolute lengths, and percentage when we want to have some lengths relative to the parent, and run relative to the HTML element, EM relative to the font size of that element, and this is relative to the view height and the view width. Yeah, and now I want to show you box shadow, because it's so important. Sometimes we create some boxes and we may want to create some that, but I think it's better to start first with maybe I think with a flex box, because then from boxes we change box shadow, we add some box shadow, then let's go to flex box. I think the very good example, please just look at flex box. I will show you from here. Maybe I can go to this one, and again, maybe, do you see this, guys? Just at the top. Maybe I think this is much better. Okay, do you see a box here?
Yep.
Yes, how many boxes do you see inside the another box or from the external box?
I see 3.
Yes, we have 3 boxes inside this, the outer box. So have you seen, we have flex. Whenever we talk about flex, actually, we make the other boxes, the children boxes, flexible, okay? We make them move left and right, top to bottom. So as you can see, we have a chance to move something this side or this side. So this, the x-axis or the y-axis, or to just the center. So now this is flex start. So by default, actually, it is flex start. If you change the flex start to flex end, it will go to the other end. And if you say flex center, it will be to the center. And the space between, so there is equal distance between this. And then space around.
Sorry, could I ask, what does the, sorry if you already went through this, but what does the flex stand for? It's like flexible, but I don't know how it is.
The flex stands for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think even I have no idea what the flex stands for, but according to my understanding, it's just, let's see if we got maybe a flex, a box. I'm not sure if there's any really a definition anywhere because I have never come across with that. So whenever you want to get such kind of definition, Flexbox CSS, it's better to go to a Mozilla Development Network, MDN. So that's the very good. So if you see, this is a very good documentation. Flexbox is a one-dimensional layout method for laying out items in rows or columns, as I said, horizontal or vertical items. Flex to fill additional space and shrink to fit into smaller space. So they are
That's
just
kind of weird. I don't know what the verb flex actually means. Items flex to fill additional space, but okay, I will maybe Google.
Yeah, flex means it's something flexible. As you can see here, it even shrink to fit.
Okay.
Shrink to fit into smaller spaces. You may have something big, but even it shrinks to fit into a smaller. So it's flexible.
Okay.
So
okay. Thank you.
Do you know the word flexible?
Yes. Yes.
Have you even here flexible boxes? Specify what elements to lay out as flexible boxes. So it's coming from flexibility. Okay, like in the gymnastics, some people are so flexible and they change it themselves to a circle or maybe a rectangle. Okay, yeah. So let's go. I'm not here. Actually, I had this. So this thing now, we have 3 boxes inside this container. So the container is just a playground for the children to move around. Yeah. Do you remember we've been using this display, position relative, and then we used to make to move things. But here, Flexbox, it's out of the box, help you to do anything you want. So Flex start by default in this side. Flex end at the end, center, space between. Space between, there is no space here, there's no space here, but space between the items. Around, space around actually give a space. They didn't give proper amount of space here. The visualization is not good, but we will see it properly. Space around, it gives space actually equal space kind of in every direction. Space evenly, even spaces in all the direction. So I think this is a very good visualization. We have this, the main axis. So this is the horizontal main axis, and the vertical, they call it cross axis. Start, end, middle. So let's create that. How do we create all the time? Usually we may say div, we have a container. You should have a container. So let's call this, maybe we can call it any name, class, flex container, for instance, flex container. And we need maybe 3 items, div dot item, and I can multiply them by 3 and it generates 3 items for me. The reason why dot is I want to give them class. Have you seen? Item 1, item 2, and item 3. So these items are actually my flex items. So let's see them. Where are they? Have you seen my flex items? They are here, but so it's better to give them, let's say first dot flex container. It's good to give the flex container a kind of, background, first width. For instance, I give the width like 800 pixel maybe. And the height, I can give it 500 pixel. And the background, maybe just some blue, black, or maybe light blue is good color for me, at least now. Yeah, so this is the container. So the item, each item, maybe I can give them widths like 250 pixel and height. How about if I give them equal amount? It's 250 pixel. And if we give them border, we know display, border, 2 pixel solid and red. That's so easy to see where they are. Yeah, have you seen these guys? Because I give them too much height and they are everywhere. So let's make the height small amount, for instance, 80 pixel or 100 pixel is just enough, Yeah, have you seen these guys? Great. And even it's just better if I make this also about 150 pixel and this 100 pixel, just then we will have enough space to make these guys move around. So this is the default position, the container, we didn't change anything. And also the children, we didn't do anything, yeah? But maybe I think just to create some gap between the top, let me just add break. Of course, you can add margin, but I don't like to add margin there now. So how about if we wanted to display this horizontally, the old way? How do we do? The old way. Tell me, I do this? Not this actually. I changed the items display. Tell me guys. Inline. Block. But we've been suffering when we, yeah. But anyway, I managed to align these guys left to right. And even we've been trying to do this by making this font size 0 and by making the width this one, for instance, if you remember 33.33%, and we made it to fit something like this. Yeah, we made this, right? Yeah, we just made this a couple of, and the height also, if you just change this to 100%, it will fit to the button up to, yeah, we've been doing this. Do you remember, guys?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
But this is, as I told you, too much calculation. It's too much calculation. No, you don't need this. So we need this beautiful CSS flex box. Now we have to just apply. You go to this, the container. The container should be display flex. The flex should goes to, yeah. Now, yes. This is how it looks like. And then maybe we want to add some margin, between the, so you add the margin here. Margin, maybe just 10 pixel in every direction. And of course, if you want to make the font size bigger, font size, maybe you want, maybe it's only 8 pixel. And how do you make this at the center, this text? Yeah, of course, text align, center, and then you give the same height. It's 100, so line height 100 pixel, and I think we can make that the center somehow, yeah. but it doesn't.
Can I ask you if you would like to put them one up on the other and not in this way? How would you do that?
One up?
Yeah, if they are now in, is that horizontal or vertical?
Yes, yes.
You,
I think it's flex direction. Then
Yes.
and you change that to column instead.
Yes, we come. So you want just to align it vertically. That's what
Yes.
you mean. So actually it's easy, but we will come to that one. Flex, by default, if you change it to just the flex like this, it is horizontal by default. So to change it to a vertical or column, flex direction, column. And then it will be something like this. But we will come to that later. First, just let's see just the default. By default, you just apply flex and you get something like this. And then actually justify content, flex, start. So it was in the start direction. It's by default, it's like that. But if you change this to the end, it will go to the other side. And have you seen it? Yes. How about if you change this to center? And it will be at the center. Yeah. So what now even we can say actually the space between, we want to have space between. Have you seen the space between? So there is space between these values, but there's little space in here. This space is coming from the margin. If I remove that margin, for instance, if I remove that margin, there will not be any space. Have you seen it? No space. So if you use the space between, no space in the other end, but there will be space between the items. Okay, then let's see how it looks like. Space around, so that means there will be space around the items. Look at this, there's a space around the items. Horizontally, that space is horizontally, okay? Because now we are using justify content works, the justify content works horizontally. Let me show you, I think this, yeah. Whenever we talk about justify content, we are moving the items horizontally. By default, it's flex start. You don't have to give it value. Flex center and flex end. And of course, even we distribute a space between, a space around, and space evenly. For instance, this is space around. And we had previously space between, no space, but there's space between the items. But now space evenly. Okay, we are giving them evenly. We distribute the space evenly. Equal space, equal space, equal space, equal space. We have finished justify content. Did you understand justify content? Justify content is a way to move the items to the left or the right or to the center, or to distribute them like evenly, or space around, or space between.
can I ask you, does flex and flexbox, are they the same thing?
Flex and flexbox?
Yeah.
Or let me take the...
There is now display flex.
Yeah.
Is it the same as flexbox? Or
Yes.
is
Yes, yes, yeah, because there's no call, there's no so-called flexbox. When we just talk about flexbox, that means flex, yes.
Ah, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Good. But there is also a property flex. We use also like flex it as in a property, and we give some kind of 1 to some value, okay? And I will come to that later. Okay, so is it clear, guys, before I move on to the direction?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then now let's talk about flex direction. So by default, if you just put it like this, flex, it is like in a row, but maybe you might be interested in the direction. Flex direction, and then you change to the column. And if you change it, it will be something like this. And now I can remove this one. Again, now, as you can see, which one is now the justify content flex start? Have you seen this? Because it's a column. So if you change it to, again, flex, justify content, flex, end, it should go to the end. Have you seen it moved? Okay, I want to ask you now, since we are using a direction, a column, this acts like a horizontal line, okay? Yes.
Yep.
Because we change also this, yeah. And now the justify content acts like a horizontal line, even though it's vertical. Oh, sorry, it's crazy. I don't know how I explain this in another way. Anyway, okay, so you can do the same. How about space around or evenly? Yeah, so let's see. It will be distributed evenly vertically because our flex direction is column, or space around. Yeah, space around. So there's space around. And if you just change to between, there will not be space between in the last two items, but there will be, yeah, have you seen? Now we saw flex direction. But how about even column and reverse? Did you notice something, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, even you change, you can even reverse, or maybe you can just change this row and reverse. Even we managed to reverse the order. It's crazy. Yeah, that is. Now let's combine the two. What do we combine? I will show you now. Combine flex and justify content and align items. Align items work like vertically, okay? Okay, now we don't need this. Let's just keep it as in the default because I want it to be like this. Have you seen, what do you see now? It is a space between. I want these items to be at the center here. Maybe I will show you. Align items, flex, start. Where is it going to be? So it's the default. So you don't see any change. Okay, let's go to the extreme. The extreme will be end. So you should see it in the other side. Have you seen it? Okay, so if the end moves it all the way down, if you just change this to the center, actually we managed to put it then at the center. All right, so this is actually positioned exactly at the center, both vertically, both horizontally and vertically. So align items help you to move the items vertically. Flex start, flex center, flex end. Yeah. Great. Do you have any question? Is it clear?
Yep.
Now let's have, if we have many items, how about if we have really many items? And let's go. What is that additional thing? Yes, it's hard. 1, 2, 3, and it's just going to be 4 and 5 and 6, 7, and then 8, and then 9, and 10, and even how about if we add some more items? When you start JavaScript, you don't do much of this hard work, okay? Maybe 12 is enough. Yes, who asked me about this flex? Have you seen when they are shrinking now?
Yes.
Yes.
So this definition is right, as you can see, additional. So items flex to fill. If there is additional space, they stretch themselves to fill it, as in a gymnast, okay? And if there is less space, they shrink to fit it. That is called flex box because of their crazy flexibility. Okay, great, I think. So now, but as you can see, they really like did their best to fit in this. So it's not a good idea to make it like this. We have another good way. Let's, I will show you. Now let's move this, the align item, because we want to start from the beginning, right? We want it from here. And there is this wrap, flex, wrap, wrap. So it will not, have you seen them now? They distributed. Now, for instance, if you have a gallery or different card of employee or countries, a flag or something, even something I may show a use case, it will show you a use case in my GitHub, something. Countries. Yeah, I think this could work. And if you go here, for instance, have you seen these countries now? They are actually flex wrap. So they are aligned. So this is the use case of flex wrap. So let's go for Finland or Swedish speaking countries here. Anyway, so you got it, what I meant. So you can change this. But if you don't like now, maybe you can change this instead of space between. The reason why this is at the end, do you understand why these guys are left and right?
Yes.
Because it takes us enough space for this up to the 10, then we have 2 at the end. So if we remove this actually, this spacing, let's see what we get. This is what we get. And we can add just margin. Let's just add margin, this 10, and we don't have to have such kind of, have you seen now? And then if we, if we want to make all to the center, maybe margin auto, I don't know, margin auto, just make it to,
I think you can justify content and just put center.
Justify content.
Justify content center.
Yes, justify content center. Justify content center.
Even align items center as well.
Thanks. So it's better just justify content. The justify content actually move the whole content. Okay, great. So the best, I think, Flexbox Froggy. Last time we saw this. It's good to go to from how does it open? From here from the beginning to the end. It's gamified. So learn how to use this. Okay. For instance, if you just remove this value, have you seen? So how do you make this to fill this? I mean this. Yeah. So we want to eat. I mean this eat the frog. Flex and yes, great. And then you just go to the second one. For instance, if you destroy this, so it was something like this. As you can see, this is at the center. So you put it to the center and then you want, great, something like this. So play this, and when you finish it, you will have a very good understanding of Flexbox, guys. Uh-oh, I'm about to share with it to the wrong channel. So I have to look for it. Where is it? Yeah, some of you have completed this, but some of you didn't. Yeah, so this is Flexbox, and also here on CSS Flexbox. I'm in favor of W3 School because it's easy to read. For instance, like, yeah, you can just see some sample code. This is what I did. Yeah, Flex start, as you can see. Flex start, and maybe if you just change justify content, Flex, and run this. Why? I forgot to close it. Okay, moves, and then to the center. Yeah, and this doesn't have much height, so give it a height. For instance, I have to give it a height, and 500 pixel. And so I have to also, because it stretched itself, I have to also give height for. Yeah, do you remember, guys, again, I want to show you it, additional space, items, flex to fill, additional space. Now, as you can see, there is additional space and it's stretched to fill it, but I want to limit it. So I want only 100 pixel, okay? Now I am limiting it, so it will be something like this. So align items, align items. For instance, if you put it center, this will come here. Yeah. Or maybe you want flex end and it go all the way down. So the point here is actually W3 School has a very easy to follow material. So we saw that already. We saw this display flex and the flex direction. We saw it. So row reverse we saw, and now flex wrap we saw this part, and no wrap is actually works the opposite. So it will just stick in there. Flex wrap, no wrap, the opposite. Flex flow. The flex row actually is like a short way of writing flex direction and flex wrap together. Yeah, short. Let me show you. This is another flex flow, is a short way of writing flex flex direction. Of course, I don't have to write row and flex wrap. This is, yeah. So instead of writing that, flex row, I think it's flow, right? Flex flow. Yeah, flex flow. Flex flow, we can say row and wrap. And we don't have to write these 2 lines. Great, so you understood what it means. As you can see, it gave already 10 pixel margin, but they didn't use this justify content or align items. Let's move on, justify content. Justify content property, as is the justify content property is used to align the flex item. So yeah, we have used that already. We saw that already. So as you can see, it's center, and you can change justify content. Start. By default, it should be start, right? And you can change it to end or center. Flex start, yeah, we have seen that. Flex end. And space around, space evenly. Align item. Align item is vertically. The align item property is to align the flex items vertically, as we have seen it. Okay, so we have covered all that. Yeah, the stretch, actually it's by default, this align item stretch. Maybe if you remember, I can show you here. Yeah, I didn't give height here. So it's stretched to avoid the stretch. If you remember, I just gave it a height 100 pixel, and then it stopped. But if you don't, it is just stretched to the to fill this the parent div. Baseline, this is actually a very good. Have you seen? We have a different numbers, different boxes. So to make them align at the same like this, have you seen this text? To align them at the same axis, we use align items, baseline. Yeah. Now we have align items. So I think this properties is something you have to practice to be good at and to be familiar. So that is what I would suggest to you, because you can't remember everything by, and even we have order of, for instance, if I try display flex, and what is this? Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, let me get back. Child element items, okay. So we have order. We can even change the order of this CSS box. Let me show you here. Have you seen here? What it was written is actually 1, 2, 3, 4 properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what you see here is 4, 2, 1, 3. So how is that possible? Because now we gave 1 at order of 3. So have you seen? 2 is going to have an order of 2. That means at the same position. But this is going to be at the 4s. Yeah, so it's here. And 4 is going to have at the first position. If you want to reverse, for instance, this again, I want this one to be 3 to maybe 1, maybe 2. If you change this 2, and maybe if I want this to 1, let's see. Yes, 2, 4, 1, 3. But there's a repetition here. So let's 2 at 2, we have at order to, I was thinking to have, okay, it should be 3.
3.
Now at 2 we have 1, that's what we want. At 1 we have 2, and at 4 we have, at 4 we have 3, and at 3 we have 4. So you can change the order by giving. So instead of this, you can give it an ID, for instance, but you have to just have class item 1, for instance. So instead of writing in line, we can just item and order, for instance, order 2. Yeah. So let's remove this part. Yeah. I think something wrong happened. 1, 2. Item 1. Yeah, I didn't select it. Item 1. Yeah. So you don't have to write it in line style. This flex grow, we can make it even to grow differently. Yeah. This one, as you have seen, it's growing faster because when these guys are growing 1 times, this is actually growing 8 times. Let me show you. Yeah. 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 Have you seen? It grows faster. Okay. And that's because of flex grow. If you change this to 1, all of them grow equally. Yeah. So they grow equally. All of them, they grow equally. Have you noticed the grows now? All of them grow equally. So again, the definition someone asked, what is this flex? Yeah? As you can see, they shrink to fit another small spaces, and also they grow. Items flex to fill additional spaces by growing, and also they get shrink to fit into small places. Okay, yeah. So did you get the idea here, right?
Yes.
Okay, unless you experiment with it and shrink, actually you can give, let's see the value. The value must be a number, default value is 1. And this shrink value, wait. Okay, let's give a value of 0. As you can see, 0 means don't shrink, and it's not shrinking at all, yeah? Yes. But just by default, it's 1. By default, it's 1. That means it grow. The value must be a number. A default value is 0. Actually, it's 0. I thought it's just 1. So by default, it doesn't grow. So if you want your flex items to grow, you can just give all of them 1, and then they grow proportionally, and it's okay. And again, let's see this. But this one is actually 1. So by default, it's 1, and it shrinks. Let's see. Yeah, it's growing and it's shrinking. And that's because of the value, like, as you can see, all of them do not have any value, but by default they shrink. The value is 1. But this one specifically, it got 0. That means we are telling don't shrink. Yeah, don't shrink. So it's not changing this item. Okay, flex basis. Let's see. So now if you see this one, the flex, it has a fixed 200 pixel, this one. And what? Let me see. Yeah, but still, as you can see, you can put some initial. The point here is you can have initial. So based on that initial value, it just shrink to the minimum it can get. Okay, so this never-ending flex box is somehow quite a lot, but I'm trying to cover most of it. Now, most important align items. We have seen it. It is for a common item, but align self is actually can be used for one item. So let me show you here. So as you can see, align self, usually it's used for one item, so center. And as you can see, it is centered. One of the item, it is centered. So you can target one item and center it. Great. I think now we have covered most of the important thing. As you can see, these are just some summary. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we are done with CSS flex box. But in the meantime, I have this thing. Let's apply some CSS box, box shadow. Box shadow means, or if you have a box, you may have a shadow. To apply a box shadow, let me show you a box shadow, how it works. Yes. Okay. Do you see a shadow? There's some shadow, as you can see. So shadow means actually is an offset, right? There is some offset from horizontally. Have you seen some offset here?
Yep.
Offset from here, and also offset from the vertical. Yeah, have you seen the offset?
Yes.
Shadow can be created by just some amount of file. So we should know how to do that. So how the, okay, so let's see. Yeah, box shadow. I will show you here by experimenting much better. We don't need all this, the div, and let's focus on one of the div. Yeah, we have one div. So example 1, and we want to focus on example 1. Now, as you can see, we have 5 pixels. Let me just increase this 50. Have you seen? That means actually the horizontally, we are pushing it. Have you seen? It's just going far. How about if we make this 100? That means we push this down. Let's see. Have you seen? Even it's go out. So that means actually we're creating another box, but we show a little bit as if it looks like some kind of a shadow. So let's make this 5, and it will go somehow, but 5 is almost up. So let's just make 10. Yeah, and now let's just make this one also to just 10. Yeah, now we see some shadow, right? So what is this value then? So if this is the horizontal offset and this is the vertical offset, so then what is this value? Actually, this is just to make it blurred, to irradiate. For instance, if I make it 80, this will be it will be distributed everywhere. Have you seen? It irradiates into a very wide space and it will be blurred. So that is the point. Horizontal offset vertical offset, and this is just to make the radiate. I think, is there any definition somewhere which can help us to see? But horizontal offset, vertical offset, blur, they call it blur, optional. It's optional, the blur radius, but it's really important to have. The higher the number, the more blurred the shadow will be. Spread, that's optional, and then color, different color. Then after this, actually, for instance, let's see this again, because this has 4 value: horizontal, vertical, and then the blur. For instance, if you just check the blur, yeah, it's blurred. How about this? Yeah, this is just the blur. This is the radius, how much it can go. Yeah. So if you want the shadow to cover all all the div or the viewport, you can increase this part. So most of the time we need this horizontal offset, a vertical offset, and the blur, the radius, the color. Great. Now let's apply and make these guys look good. These guys look good. Yeah. So item, box, shadow. So tell me, 2 pixel, maybe 2 pixel another, maybe 3 pixel for blur, and 5 pixel for radius, and the color rate. Let's see how it looks like. Maybe we don't need border because we have also box shadow. Have you seen? Yeah, almost we achieved what we need, right? But not a very good color, actually. Let's change. So maybe usually a very good one is some kind of black, some kind of, yeah, we're actually going there. It's a kind of, maybe I think we don't need this background. Yeah, we're just going there. So now maybe we have to make this a bit brighter. Yeah, have you seen? Now maybe I think it's all about also changing the items. Maybe we can even make, we don't need any offset, just 0, 0, but add something around. Yeah, but it's still dark. So I can make it a bit, again, brighter. Somewhere around. Yeah. So we created some kind of, and even maybe if we add some, what is this? Border radius, 5 pixel. And we may fix that. It's getting better, right? So, but why even you care actually? CSS box shadow, because now you know, based, someone might be just wrote somewhere, you know, and you check, yeah, someone, because for instance, you want this maybe, and maybe you want this, or just to select anything you want. Maybe I'm interested in this one and copy the code and change my code with something someone generated with different technique and become part of my code. And now it looks good. Yes, so we finished CSS box, box shadow. Let's move on to something else, but maybe I think something we didn't see. How about if we add item, hover, and when it's hovered, we can change this a bit, maybe darker, and a feeling of what is this. For instance, instead of, if you change it to 5, if you change it to 2.5, because I'm changing the color to be more. Have you seen? I was expecting for. Oh, I forgot the dots. Sorry. Have you seen there's some effect, right? Don't you see it, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, because and even now, as you can see, maybe we can make it a kind of cursor. The cursor could be, we can change when someone is clicking. We make a cursor, maybe if it's a link or something, pointer. If we change to the pointer, we will have the hand, yeah? So from a UI point of view, it looks somehow okay. Yes, we're running out of time. We have 40 minutes to finish everything today. Okay, so let's destroy changes there. Done, good. And now, great. Sometimes, yeah, last week we covered how to add a background image, but guys, you may not know how to add a background image, for instance, you want to build something here and you want your website to have a background image, maybe computer, maybe laptop. I'm looking for a laptop. Full HD image. I'm looking for. I had some. Okay, maybe I think I downloaded somewhere. I have already.
I think the image you used last week wasn't laptop image, was it?
Yes, a kind of. Yes, I'm not sure if I have, but I had some special laptop on table, on desk.
Or maybe you used.
Okay, I got this is really good. This is really good. Yes, let's put this one to our file, save as, and I can call it this laptop. And if you remember, this is the file, and we will put it to the assets, and the assets is going to be what kind of, we don't have. Anyway, let's put it there. Okay, so maybe we want to display that image, yeah? So, and we want that image to cover the whole body. So actually the way we do is, I go all the way here somewhere, body, and what background image, and then URL, and then you go to that assets, and then image, and then we just create laptop, some kind of image anyway, different. Oh, have you seen this? We have some image here, but it's everywhere. This is not what you want, right? Many images, yes. So the reason why what you don't need this is actually, yeah, as you can see, you have duplicates of image over here, but what we need, we want this image to cover the whole width. Okay, background, background size, cover, so it will be 1 actually. Yeah, so, but it's somehow to the other side. Let's somehow, I think, fix the, and then we can make the body actually, body width 100%, 100%. And let's make also the height, maybe 100 view height is good. Yes, but why it's still duplicating? Let's remove the duplication by using, okay, repeat.
I think the width was 100%, right? But the height is not.
Yes, both are, yeah, but it is actually by default also. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. But the height should be this view height because we need it really to be stretched and full. What I forgot, background image, background image, no repeat, repeat, no repeat, no repeat, yeah. Then it will not repeating. Have you seen now the landing pages laptop? So let's remove this unnecessary thing. Maybe you want to make your portfolio looks like something, and we don't need any more this kind of text that was meant for demo. And yes, you have something like this. We just made something, right? So the landing page is something like this. So even you may just try something here. For instance, div. Even if we need really this, let's comment this out for the time being. And maybe we can have a div here and h1. I am Sabine type full stack developer based in Helsinki, Finland. Something. So there is just, oh, that's at the top, but I want to make it somewhere here. How do I do that? I will just use this. We can give it a name. For the time being, we can give this class. Maybe a kind of banner. It's not a banner, but just let's give it the time being a banner. So guys, we learn Flexbox, right? Justify content, center, align item, center, yeah? Justify content, center, but I forgot display, flex. Just align items, center. And it should put it at the, I thought align items, center. Oh yeah, because the flex should be, why not? Justify content center, align items, center. How about flex direction column? Why is it stuck there? I don't understand. We have this and the height of this is 100, so we should move this to, help me out, guys. Well, what's wrong here? We move this here and
Maybe could it be text align?
not a good idea, that one.
No.
Because I am looking vertically. Vertically, I want this to come somewhere around here. banner. Is it saying banner? Yes, it's display flex, it's working. But maybe we should give it a height, the proper height. And about, for instance, 300 pixel. Yeah, good. So because we didn't, the reason why, if you don't fix, why? I want to ask you, why? Because it's stretched by itself. Let me show you, it's stretched by itself. And if you don't give it a height, it just stretched at the, up to the bottom, and then you can't have a chance to fix it. Now I have this, and it's just something like this, but still it doesn't seem at the center, right? Why not? Okay, best way, just give it a border. 5 pixel, solid, and just salmon. Who doesn't like salmon? Everybody likes salmon. Oh, I don't see the border, to be honest. 5 pixel, solid, salmon. Yeah, so this is actually is not moving. So it just, so the reason, the purpose is actually to move this and make it at the middle. So it seems it was not move.
I think you're changing the box, that you're adding flex to that, but you need to add flex to the body, right? Because that's actually what's going to move where the box is. That needs to.
Yes, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, that's true. So our body should be a flex container. Yes, flex, display flex, display flex. Thanks. But it's not a good idea to change the body to a flex. But now we don't have much content, so we are using this as a landing page, and we're putting small content. It's okay, okay, guys. But if you are using something like, it's not good to change that like that. So I can remove this, and I apply this to the body. So as you can see now, we have here. So, but you will see when I apply justify content to the center, it will go to the center. Yeah. Now the next step will be align item to the center. Yes, it goes to the center, but this is too big. So I have to make the container height or this small, because I don't need that much space. 150 is okay enough. So it's here. Maybe the color should be different. And yeah, and then again, you can add, for instance, what I teach, technologies which I teach, times 5, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. And I think I should stop because no need to. Yeah, so you can align this and you have a landing page much better. So maybe if you don't, you can also use different color. Yeah, font, oh no, color, kind of purple. Because we have some black thing, so we managed to, but for some reason I don't, we don't need this now. Yeah, now you know how to add a background, right?
Yep.
So because the styling takes us, to make this look good, it takes us forever. Okay, now let's go to responsive design. Yes, responsive design. So what does that responsive design is actually to make your application or your website to resize in device. It could be iPad, it could be a small device, small phones or laptops or even TV or whatsoever. So there are actually breaking points. Breaking points I will show you here. So media query breaking points. Like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there were about 5 or 4 breaking points. But now with 2 or maybe 1 breaking point, you can make it responsive because of media query and grid. Okay, I love this W3 school, as you can see. Responsive web design. We use media queries to achieve that. What's a media query? So media queries, CSS technique introduced in the CSS 3. So there was not the so-called media query before. I will show you here. Have you seen this now? Maybe if you, yeah, it's changed the back. Have you seen, guys? The background is changing, yeah? Crazy. Yeah, why? Okay, let me show you. We don't even need all this media, only just this line is enough. Media query. I will show you. So what you write is actually maximum width. Sorry, I think I destroyed too much. We need only this part. Yes, let's do. So maximum width, up to maximum width of this, it will be, now it's more than 600. Yeah, so it would be this one. Now I will show you, let's do more. Instead of that, how about if we divide it also? Okay, so let's down this maximum width up to, there are small devices, for instance, 480 pixel. It's so small that we make it red, right? That's a very small device. And for something up to maybe 600, it's okay. 600 is already big, maybe 560. We can make this a yellow, right? And the 680, that's big enough, 680. And let's make this orange. And this going to be 768. And this is going to be black, just crazy color, but anyway. So I will show you, but it's, and again, since it's black, the color should be white. Yeah, so, but after this, after 608, it will be this, the green from here, from the body. But the rest will be, now let's show, let me show you what value did I give for?
You should close after the orange and yellow, maybe.
Yes. Oh, let me check. Yeah. It's close. Good. Maximum width.
I think you would need to change the direction on them, given that now it's cascading. So it will, given you have the biggest one at the bottom, it will automatically always be black until it goes over 768, and then it becomes the light green. But if you change the direction of them, shouldn't that work?
Yes, that's a very.
I think you need to change the other ones as well, because you need to have the.
Oh, so I have.
Yeah. No, that one's supposed to be under the 700.
Yeah.
So that one.
Yes.
Yes.
So the sequence should be something like this.
Yes.
Okay, so as you can see, this is the body. So now it's up to the 768 limit, and then now it's 680, and now, yeah. Now, even for instance, when it's RAID, the font size, maybe if it's too much for a mobile, what can I do? I can make it smaller. So, hey, font size, I want you to be 0.75 rem. Of course, I didn't give a rem, but by default it's 16. So 16 pixel by 0.75. Have you seen? Yep. So this is how you implement media query, guys. Okay, now even for instance, let's do something in our, okay, something this, maybe I can just leave that and this is to this direction, because now we have lots of style there. It might be hard for us to implement. At least I have to turn off the body CSS for the time being. Yep. So and I want to show you just simply, and we don't need also this text for the time being, and I just remove this. So I don't have anything now. Let's create 3 divs. Okay, div, and I call it this container, our flex container. Flex. Maybe I think we have already. Not box is good. Boxes, and then I create another div, and I call them box all, and I need 3. Yeah, as you can see, the class is for all of the wrapper is boxes, and I have the items are box, this box, box, box. Okay, great. Now let's select boxes, and let's give a height, for instance. It would be like 600 pixel, and width maybe 100%. I don't need to limit that. And let's see, maybe background also, to have background some light blue for the time being. What is this? Oh, box. Yeah, because some CSS is affecting our something we are doing here. So let's just comment out everything we have. Oh no. Oh yeah, I have seen, because we have a box here and some container is at some point we created. Yeah, this is what I need. Yeah, so the width is like this, but why it's so big? 600 pixel, it doesn't seem 600 pixel anyway. Let me see, like 600 pixel. Yeah, great. Yeah, we have this. Now let's do the boxes. I mean, this, the individual box and width. Let's see, 250 pixel, and height 150 pixel. And this is going to be, you don't see it because you don't have border or whatever. Border, 2 pixel solid, and the green maybe or whatsoever. Yeah, now we see that. Yeah, because it's much, as you can see. What is this? We have the height is 300 pixel, but this is too much. So let's remove this to maybe 100, and maybe it's good also to make this the height maybe 500 for the time being. Yeah, we have this. Let's do this flex box. So if we make it flex box, display flex. And let's distribute them also, just space maybe flex, justify content, space, betune, we may have something like this, yeah? But in mobile phone, how do you see this? You want to see this differently, vertically, right? Because the mobile phone is small, right? Yeah, do you agree, guys?
Yeah, you can do flex wrap, right?
Maybe I think if a direction instead of just row, we change it to flex direction column. Yes, so we can say at media maximum width about 768 pixel, because this is a kind of just a common. So then boxes flex direction, we just only change the direction. With this line, we can make it responsive. Let's see. Yeah, it's already changed, as you can see. Yeah, have you seen it? So to see on a mobile, Control-Shift-I, and then you just click this. This is the mobile. But still, maybe you want to also make this to full. You may not need a width. You can change maybe the width of the boxes. Box, for instance, you had the box width, it was 250 pixels, something like that. Or maybe here, let's say, for instance, if it was how many boxes do we have? 3. So that means 33.33 whatever percent, right? Let's see. Yeah, but let me just go out here. Yeah, have you seen this is full? Yeah, we have full. And now when you turn it to a mobile version, Control-Shift-I, now it's like shrinked. So we want this to be full. So we can change this width. Tell me please, guys. Width to be 100%. Oh, I think something wrong. Yeah, because there's no dot. There should be dot, right? Yeah. Have you seen now?
Yeah, cool.
So now we can put some column 1, column 2. So navigation can be changed something like with this idea you can do, yeah. So now if I just turn this, we have this, but the text is so small. Now, if you apply, for instance, font size here, maybe if I go, I can apply, by the way, do we have this already? Yeah, it's 10. So I can go run. Let's apply run. The font size is going to be 2.5 run. That means 25 pixel. Yeah, I have that. And I want to make that to the center. By the way, even you change this one to flex direction, column, and justify content, center, align items, center, to make the text at the center. Oh, no. Flex there, because I didn't change to display flex. Yes. Have you seen? Even now, the container is flex, even the small box is also flex. The reason why I changed it to flex, to make this item at the center. What item does this box have? This. So I want it to be column and then just to go vertically and horizontally at the center. So I just changed to column. And now I have this content, and when you change it, we have such kind of thing, but still now this text is big. We can make the text here in the boxes, font size, but I think I want to show you how it looks on the mobile. Control-Shift-I. Yeah, now it's still bigger, but it's okay, but you can still make it smaller. For instance, now font size is going to be, instead of 1.5, run. Yeah, now it's smaller. This is the concept you do to make responsive. Is it tricky, guys? No, it's not. So if it is something horizontal in a bigger screen, you just change it to vertical in a small screen, because there is no way you can fit something big in a small screen. Where was, yeah, I think lots of things are opened. Yes, I think we're lucky today. We managed to finish our cover, even though it was fast. Okay, let me see something we can cover. This is background image. You see that is, so I can show you here. For instance, have you seen this? This is on desktop. Let me just help you. So this will remain at the top, but these guys change it. These guys took the whole, yeah, this become full size, full size, full size, and this come to here, and this remain at the footer, header, header, footer, footer, and this side bar become just, it took the whole width, and this another, this right side bar came to here. This is actually the different layout. So I will show you the breaking points of, yeah, these are the common breaking points. Extra small device. This is like maximum width, that means up to 600, and this is for tablets. And as you can see, this says maximum width up to 600, but this minimum width starting from 600. Medium device, 760 and above. Desktop, 990 and above. So this is for extra large. So the cascading problem can be solved with this. Someone helped me in my code to rearrange, but with this code, you don't have to put the other way, like from small to, actually this also has its own chronology, as you can see. Yeah, something what we didn't learn actually is, maybe if we have about 15 minutes. So I will teach you these pseudo elements. Really? Yeah, so pseudo elements. Pseudo, as you may understand, means false element. It's not there. Okay, what does that really mean? Let's add, for instance, a pseudo element here, but that's hard to notice, but we can just add something P, or any element, okay? Element, or just any text here. Of course, you should first see the text, yeah? So we have P elements. Now, I may select this P. Do we have P anywhere? We don't have. So just let me select that P like this. P, before, something like this. We can add something like this. So what does that mean? We want to create a false element before here. So if you say like, and then it takes content, and if you put I am add me before, I think it's not anymore before. Add me before. How do you say it, guys? Add me before. Maybe actually instead of this, maybe I think the best way is after. How about if I change this after, it will go to the front. Yes, and maybe we can move also this like a bit up, and maybe color could be color, could be red actually, and that would be nice. Yeah, and maybe the font size is too much. Font size, let's put it to just 1 rem, and it will be small. It's really small, so 1.5 rem. 1.5 means 15 pixel. Remember, we learned rem, yeah? You multiply that by 10. Yeah, now good enough. But I think it would be nice if we put it as in this superscript, this, like, for instance, how do we make? Maybe first we have to make the P relative. P, since we have position relative rate. So if we make the position relative, then we can make this absolute. So absolute position, absolute, and then the top. If we put just 0, it may not move much. Yeah, it moves a bit for some reason. But we don't. For instance, maybe I think minus 10 pixel. Oh yeah, sorry. Maybe it moved far. 10 pixel the other way. Yeah, so let's win instead new products. New product. Yeah, sometimes whenever we want to just add like fancy format, we may use this before and after. And even instead, we can also create actually shape also using this before and after. So we call this pseudo element. The element is not there, but we are creating it. And another thing what we saw is this, the hovering. I think we didn't do more of this, the hover, the box, if you remember, this and hover. Maybe on what I may just recommend you to do, how about if you just work on this one and just make everything clean and finish it. It will be helpful for you. Maybe I think if you have any question and maybe something I want to show, something you want to see. And remember, whenever you want to check the code in any website, just right click, inspect, and for instance, if you want to know this, okay, I can click this and then go here. And then just when you click it, this is generated. Yeah, and then you go here and check what you have. And again, you come here again for more detail and you select here. And again, no, because now I select the link. I clicked on the link, that's wrong. But it's anyway already, it's, as you can see, the link is already selected here. Yeah, so now we can, for instance, if you remove this, yeah, but that's actually the link for the, let me try again. Yes. Yeah, you see the values here anyway. And what is this? Did we add any pseudo element? Yes, that's for the footer information, as you can see. You can remove, yeah, have you seen the footer is, the footer and the header is gone. But we go down to the footer and it's here now. And sometimes even you can also check the computed result, because the computed result is actually the calculated result of a certain HTML element. So you just come here and just check the different HTML element. You click this and then click the value. Yeah, it put me here. Then as you can see the value H1. It's H1, H1, display block, the font size and everything. For instance, if you remove some of the values here, you can, I think we can remove. Or we've been doing that. Anyway, you got the idea. So remember, whenever you go also some website, you can clone it. For instance, what color is it exactly? Let's do that. Yeah. You go here. Yeah, of course, it was the green, as you can see. Yeah, I removed that, the green part. And then maybe again, if we go here, it's here. So yes, as you can, big animated. So have you seen this animated? Remove, just to see also the effect. And animated, but as you can see, big, animated, plus, infinite. How many class does it have? And even there's the container, frog green. So frog green is actually, it's a frog. And which one? The green one. So the green acts as an ID. Yeah, I think this should be the end of this training. Guys, let's stop. You might be tired also. And what I would say, this is not, please give us some break. Oh yeah, anyway, I think I saw now, can you share? Yeah, I think, sorry guys, I didn't see some of the comments on the comment. So yeah, so I have to pause the recording here.